In the mid-2010s, Nigeria's tech ecosystem was still in its infancy. The streets of Lagos pulsed with possibility. In Yaba, small offices buzzed with young developers with laptops and ambitions, fueled by the belief that Africa could build world-class companies. It was against this backdrop that two young Nigerians, Shola Akinlade and Ezra Olubi, lit a spark that would grow into one of the continent's biggest fintech success stories, Paystack. Born and raised in Lagos, Olushola Akinlade was a reserved child who gravitated towards order, logic, and problem solving. He attended St. Gregory's College, Lagos, one of Nigeria's oldest mission schools. Teachers noticed early that while other boys chased noise and mischief, Shola preferred puzzles, mathematics, and computers. By the time he entered Babcock University to study computer science, his reputation as a steady, thoughtful engineer was already forming. Friends remembered him as someone who didn't just write code, but was obsessed with making things simpler, faster, and better. He once said, "I just want to solve problems. If something didn't work, I couldn't rest until I figured how to fix it." The quiet obsession with problem solving would become the foundation of Paystack. Where Shola was measured and calm, Ezra Olubi was flamboyant, expressive, and larger than life. Born in Ibadan, Ezra grew up with a natural flair for the dramatic. At Federal Government College Ijanikin, he stood out not just for his intelligence, but for his fashion sense and his unapologetic individuality. He experimented with music, arts, and coding, embracing both structure and chaos in equal measure. When he later joined Babcock University to study computer science, Ezra quickly made an impression. He was a student who wore eyeliner to class, debated fiercely, and coded with elegance. For him, technology was not just about functionality, but about creativity. "I like building things that work beautifully," he once said. At Babcock, Shola and Ezra became unlikely friends. One was a quiet, disciplined engineer, the others a colorful visionary. Yet, their differences created synergy. Long nights of coding in university labs cemented their bond, one that would prove critical years later. After graduating, Shola launched a software company that built solutions for businesses. But one problem kept haunting him. Payments didn't work in Nigeria. Merchants would watch customers abandon purchases after repeated transaction failures. Developers would spend days wrestling with clunky APIs, only to give up. The ecosystem was choked by bad infrastructure. It was a nightmare, Shola recalled. You'd spend days trying to get a simple payment processed, and in the end, the customer would walk away. I knew this problem had to be solved.
I'd always known that payments was hard. I'd always known that it was inaccessible. I'd always known that merchants were struggling.
The pain became the seed of Paystack. The YC journey from rejection to acceptance. In 2015, Shola started prototyping Paystack, determined to build a payment infrastructure designed for Africa. Encouraged by his friend, he applied to Y Combinator, Silicon Valley's most famous accelerator. The first application was rejected, but Shola didn't give up. He applied again. This time, YC President Michael Sebel saw promise, but gave him a critical piece of advice: get a co-founder. Shola knew immediately who to call: Ezra.
See myself as an example of how different can work.
Their personalities were opposites, but that was exactly what Paystack needed. Shola was steady and systematic, and Ezra was bold and creative. They had known each other for years, trusted each other, and shared a passion for technology. Ezra said yes. Together, they refined Paystack and reapplied to YC. This time, they were accepted, making Paystack the first Nigerian startup ever to enter Y Combinator. Traveling to San Francisco for YC was like stepping into another world.
And so this is where we went to YC, Ezra and I. We just wanted to take a photo of Welcome to San Francisco.
In rooms filled with investors who had never heard of Nigerian Fintech, Shola and Ezra told their story. Africa's broken payments, the frustration of merchants, and the opportunity to transform commerce on the continent. Many investors were skeptical, but others were captivated. By the end of YC's demo day, Paystack had secured crucial seed funding, giving it both capital and credibility. YC forced us to think bigger, Shola later said. We realized that this wasn't just about Nigeria, it was about Africa. Paystack meteoric rise. Back home, Paystack spread like wildfire.
Shola Akinlade, the CEO and co-founder of Paystack, a technology company powering payments and growth for business in Africa.
Developers loved how easy it was to integrate, just a few lines of code. Businesses loved that payment finally worked. Customers loved that transactions went through smoothly. From small online shops to household names like MTN, Domino's, and even the Lagos state government, thousands of businesses adopted Paystack. By 2020, it was powering over half of all online transactions in Nigeria. The $200 million acquisition. In October 2020, the global payments giant Stripe announced that it was acquiring Paystack for $200 million.
Stripe is acquiring Nigerian payments company Paystack for what sources tell me is roughly $200 million.
The news shook Africa's tech ecosystem. For many, it was proof that world-class companies could rise from Lagos. Shola told his team, "We did this because we believed. We believed African businesses deserved better, and we refused to give up." Ezra added, "This is just the beginning. Paystack was never just about payments, it's about possibility." Stripe's co-founder, Patrick Collison, captured the moment's best. "We are excited to see black founders like Shola and Ezra who are building the payment infrastructure for the next billion people." Beyond the money, the legacy of Paystack. The Paystack story is more than a $200 million acquisition. It's a lesson in resilience, vision, and partnership. Solve real problems. Paystack succeeded because it addressed a pain point businesses face daily. Resilience pays. Shola's rejection at YC could have been the end, but it became the fuel. Partnership matters. From Michael Silbel to Stripe, Paystack thrived because of relationships. Dream local, scale global. Paystack proved that African startups can compete on the world stage. Today, Paystack continues to operate independently on the Stripe, expanding into Ghana, South Africa, and beyond. But its true legacy is inspiration. As Shola once told young developers, "The future of Africa will be built by Africans, lines of code by lines of code, dream by dream." And Ezra, the ever-creative, left them with this: "Don't wait for permission. If you see something broken, fix it. That's how we changed the world." 2 boys, 1 dream. From the classroom of St. Gregory and Federal Government College Ijanikin to the labs of Babcock University to the bright lights of Silicon Valley, Shola and Ezra's journey is a reminder that greatness can emerge from unexpected places. They didn't just build a company, they built possibility. And for Africa's next generation of dreamers, Paystack's flame is only just beginning to burn.